Gabby Petito's parents have filed a lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's parents. Today, March 11th, marks the 6-month anniversary of the day that Gabby was officially reported missing. And today, it has been announced that her parents are officially suing the Laundries. The lawsuit alleges that Chris and Roberta Laundrie knew that Gabby was no longer alive while the Petitos were desperately searching for answers, and that they failed to comply with law enforcement. In the lawsuit, Gabby's parents say that Brian Laundrie told his parents that he murdered Gabby just a day after, and that the Laundries contacted an attorney that day before retaining him 5 days later. This lawsuit also claims that Brian used Gabby's phone to send a fake text to her mother. According to the lawsuit, Roberta Laundrie blocked Nicole Schmidt, Gabby's mother's, phone number and Facebook. Here are the specifics of why they are suing them.
So I'm from Colorado, and today just reading over some internet news, and apparently over 20 years later, JonBenet Ramsey's murder is discovered. Okay, so I was about 6 when this happened. I remember the events quite well. I've also done some research on it, and you're gonna want to stay tuned for this because I got some crazy thing I gotta share with you. So now you're gonna think I'm nutso, but that's okay. I'll get to it and just hear me out. But there are many things about the Ramseys, about that case particularly, that not many people know. For one, being the ransom letter that was left. So Patsy, she woke up in the early morning, and she goes downstairs. As she's walking down the stairs, she finds the ransom letter. What's it say on the ransom letter? Do not call the police. We need so-and-so money, and if you call the police, we're going to kill your daughter. What'd she do? Goes directly to the phone. Now, come on. Really? Use some brains. Patsy calls the police frantically, and police are shocked, whatever. Boulder barely deals with one homicide a year at this point. So it's very new. I mean, they deal with it, but a child homicide is very new for Boulder Police Department. So what happens is she gets off the phone, which typically, if you were dealing with homicide, the person on the phone would probably stay on the phone with the police until the police got there. Just saying. Immediately after she gets off the phone with the police department, she calls up her neighborhood friends, to let her know that her daughter is missing and there's a ransom note. Police arrive, and of course she's got all of her friends there already when the police arrive, which is just bizarre. Police tell Mr. Ramsey, you need to go through the house, search from the top to the bottom, see if you see anything out of place. What does he do? Goes to the basement first. I'm gonna have to break this into 2 parts. It's a really long story, but you gotta click the plus if you want to hear more.
If I ever get murdered or kidnapped, don't be out here fucking lying. No, I don't light up a room when I walk in. No, everybody doesn't like me. No, I wasn't some high scholar. Bitch, I got 2 friends and a smart ass mouth. Tell 2020 that.
You're going to see pictures. He writes on mirrors, horrible things to her. Writes on lampshades, on clothing, on countertops. In Australia, when you heard Ben talk about Australia, he wrote the 3rd day as Amber comes out after she's barricaded herself and gone through a lot, and I'll back up on that in a minute. She comes out, he's got mashed potatoes spread across the top. He's written along the wall of the staircase going down all kinds of and instead what he does is he takes 8 to 10 tablets of ecstasy almost immediately. And the next 3 days are just a cycle of very, very, very violent activity by him. What does she do? She buys a book by a psychiatrist who's talking about couples therapy, gets up and punches Johnny in the face. She'll tell you that's the only time she has ever laid one on him, and she said, she's almost half his size. She's almost half his size. So she said, if I pushed him, he doesn't move. He pushes me, I go flying across the room. She'll tell you that she tried everything. She tried everything, from trying to be nice, trying to get away from him. She would throw things in his way to get him from running after her. She would try to, flail back. She would use her hands and legs, and she would go and try to fight him. She'd run into her room and try to barricade and push his hands and everything out of there. She'd try all those things.
This is the only proof that she's a fraud. Look at her pretending she can't read the screen. Oh, I read it clearly yesterday, but not today. Now I need to look like Johnny Depp so I can read it. Oh, fuck.
The Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial just started. Here's what you need to know. Johnny and Amber got married in 2015. In May 2016, Amber Heard entered a courthouse with an alleged bruise on her face. She claimed that Johnny Depp had been abusive towards her and filed for a restraining order and divorce. She says that the bruise on her face was from Johnny Depp throwing a phone at her. However, a few days prior, the police had investigated a domestic violence call at Johnny Depp's home and found that there was no evidence of a crime. Eventually, Amber Heard rescinded her domestic violence restraining order, and Johnny gave Amber $7 million as part of their divorce settlement, and the divorce was finalized in 2017. Now here's why there's a new court case. In 2018, Amber Heard wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post, in which she spoke about the treatment of women in domestic abuse cases. She said that as a result of her speaking out against sexual violence, she lost a 2-year campaign with the global fashion brand, and it raised questions of whether she could keep her role in Aquaman and Justice League. And in 2019, Johnny Depp sued Amber Heard for $50 million for defamation in that Washington Post article, saying that the article damaged his reputation and career. And though she didn't name Johnny Depp as her alleged abuser, Depp's lawyers are arguing that it's fairly clear that it was meant to be about him. Disney dropped Johnny Depp from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise 4 days after the article was published. Johnny Depp is denying that he ever abused her, and that Heard is not a victim of domestic abuse, she's the perpetrator. Part 2 is already up to get a little more background on what's going on now.
Amber Heard just got exposed in another big lie from her court case with Johnny Depp. So you all remember last week during the trial when Amber Heard's attorney was making such a big deal over this concealer palette that she said Amber Heard was carrying in her purse during their entire relationship to cover up the bruises from the abuse that she claimed Johnny Depp did to her? Well, the makeup company that makes this concealer palette called Amber Heard out today and caught her in a lie. The alleged abuse took place between 2014 and 2016. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard got divorced in 2016, and Milani Cosmetics released the said makeup palette Amber Heard claimed to have used in 2017, 1 year after they split, meaning this makeup palette did not exist when they were together. Boom! And the truth will set you free! Milani Cosmetics, we love you. Thank you for sharing this. Justice for Johnny Depp.
And she got up off the bed and she squared off at me in the doorway of our bedroom. And I said, what do you want to do? Hit me again? Would you like to hit me again? And I said, go ahead, hit me. Bam. And then I just said, is that what you wanted? Would you like another? Bam. There's the second one. And I said, good, now you're done. Grabbed her by the shoulders, walked her to the bed, sat her down, and said, don't follow me. Leave me alone. I'm out. I'm gone.
horrifying discovery in DC just about 20 minutes ago. Responding to an anonymous tip that there is biohazardous material inside the home of anti-abortion activist Lauren Hardy, police now saying they found 5 fetuses in coolers in her home. The fetuses have been collected by the DC Medical Examiner. Lauren Hardy's response was, people are going to be surprised when they hear about this. This is an ongoing investigation. We don't have info yet as to where these fetuses came from.
During the Johnny Depp trial today, a psychologist diagnosed Amber Heard with 2 personality disorders. The second witness of the day was Dr. Shannon Curry, a forensic psychologist. She started off her testimony by outlining her extensive list of credentials, including working with veterans with PTSD, and she was asked to do a psychological evaluation of Amber Heard. Dr. Curry spent 12 hours with Amber, doing a series of tests and evaluations, as well as reviewing previous case records, medical records, and psychological treatment that Amber had had in the past. And she diagnosed Amber with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. She clarified that these aren't facts, but that her scores were consistent with other people who have been shown through many studies to have these specific traits. She explained that borderline personality disorder is instability, which shows up in a person's relationships, emotions, behavior, sense of self, and identity, and that instability is really driven by an underlying fear of abandonment. She testified that individuals who often have this disorder resort to desperate attempts to keep someone from leaving, such as physical aggression, threats, harming themselves. She said that a tactic that someone with this disorder might use would be physically assaulting someone else and then ending up getting harmed themselves, and that they might often make threats using the legal system after that, like saying that they'll file a restraining order or alleging abuse. She also diagnosed Amber with histrionic personality disorder, which has key features of drama and shallowness, and explained that people with this disorder may feel uncomfortable not being the center of attention, and when they're not the center of attention, they will put themselves there, making themselves to be a victim or a princess. Another thing she mentioned is that people with this personality disorder can often mimic the image of others, including the way they dress. And she said that Amber Heard externalizes blame, tends to be self-righteous and judgmental, has anger, and that her scores were consistent with other people who have these traits. She also assessed Amber for any evidence of PTSD and said that she did not have PTSD, but rather grossly exaggerated symptoms of PTSD when asked about them. She answered yes to 19 out of the 20 criteria to qualify for PTSD, and upon further evaluation, Curry testified that she only had 3 out of 20. In my next video, I'll break down the testimony of a police officer who investigated an alleged domestic violence incident between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Cops do the best they can. They pull the axe out your face and say, "Was it the boogeyman?"
I really did think I was going to lose my life, and I thought you would do it on accident. And I told you that. I said, oh my God, I thought the first time.
Amber, I lost a fucking finger, man. Come on. I had a mineral can of mineral spirits thrown at my nose.
You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and yes. It's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
It doesn't matter if it's a fair fight. My ass.
Exactly, because you're.
I had a knife in my pocket, and I just took the knife out and I said, "Here, cut me." That's what you want to do. Ultimately, you've taken everything. You want my blood? Take it. Have my blood. And then she said, no. And then I said, look, if you're not going to take it, you want it. I know you want it. That's all I've got left. Take it.
Mr. Depp, have you ever physically assaulted Miss Heard?
Never.
Have you ever sexually assaulted Miss Heard?
Never. Certainly not.
What have you lost as a result of Miss Heard making these allegations against you?
Nothing less than everything. When the allegations were made, when the allegations were rapidly circling the globe, telling people that I was a drunken, cocaine-fueled menace, beat women suddenly in my 50s, I will live with that for the rest of my life because of the allegations and because it was such a high-profile case. So I lost then, no matter the outcome of this trial. I'll carry that for the rest of my days. It never had to be that way.
So I think I just saw that there's going to be a big protest on the 7th in DC. Here's what I think people should do at that protest. Get as much glitter as you can and take it with you. And throw that shit everywhere. Like, how fun would that be? You can even have fun with the colors of the glitter and make them your respective, like, flag or pronouns. And everyone can even dump their glitter all at once. Just picture it. A giant human glitter bomb on the steps of the Supreme Court. And when the time inevitably comes when Republicans start criticizing the protest, calling everyone thugs and saying it was an act of terrorism, you can just be like, we dropped glitter on the ground. What is it your side did again? Remind me? That's right, people died. Some of you almost even died at the hands of your own constituents. But sure, the ones dropping glitter on the ground are the domestic terrorists. Like, I can't think of any flaws here. Plus, it would make for some truly epic pictures that would end up in the history books that our grandchildren read in school. Assuming, of course, that by then the Republicans did not eradicate the Department of Education.
I just want to make a quick little statement, if you will. I would never, ever, ever in a million years want anyone coming to my page not knowing where I stand on this. I'm talking about the obvious thing that's going on in the world right now. I support you to do whatever you want with your own body. It's none of my business. It's none of my fucking business. If you come here, I'm going to support you. If you come here, you're going to be loved and you're not going to be judged. And I just wanted to put that out there and say this is a safe space for everybody. And I am really upset about the entire situation. It just sucks because I don't think a man is ever going to find himself in a position where he's crying and shaking on his living room floor during his lunch break because he doesn't know if he's going to have the right to choose what to do with his body. Peace, love, pro-choice. Should we make merch? You know, I wasn't planning on drinking tonight, but I just might.
I don't care what your religion says about abortion. I don't care what your religion says about my body. I don't care what your religion says I should and shouldn't do with my body. I don't care because my constitutional right is freedom of religion. That means freedom to not practice your religion. So I don't know why anyone's talking about the Bible. I don't know why the Bible's getting brought up when we're talking about my rights. Silly thing to bring up when we're talking about my rights of my body. To be bringing up your religion during that conversation seems ridiculous to me.